In life, sometimes the decisions we make lead us down roads from which there is no return. This story tells of one such moment, a night when love, betrayal, and intertwined emotions suddenly came to the forefront. When Frank Walker noticed the strange look in his wife's eyes, he had no idea that this night would steer them toward an unexpected path. What was on Brooke's mind? Would Frank allow his wife to fall into the arms of another? This story will draw you into the darkest corners of human nature, making you question the fine line between right and wrong, desire and morality. Before I dive into my story, if you don't want your life to be turned upside down like mine, subscribe to my channel to learn real lessons from the real stories we share every day, just like mine. Also, share your thoughts about the shocking truths I've experienced in the comments. Please show your support by liking my video. Now that you've subscribed, let's dive into my story. As Frank Walker, I've faced many challenges throughout my life, but tonight, I was unaware of what lay ahead. It all began at a restaurant. Watching Brooke, she seemed so happy, her eyes sparkling in a way that captivated me. But there was a lingering unease within me, as if something wasn't right. As I tried to shake off the feeling, I noticed a waiter approaching me. In his hand was a small note, one that would change my life in ways I couldn't have imagined. My heart raced as I read the note. The note said my wife was in danger, but not in the way I had ever expected. A man named Mark Leah was trying to seduce Brooke. My eyes instinctively moved to the dance floor, and there they were, Brooke and Mark, dancing together. Her smile, revealing her interest in him, only fueled the doubt swirling inside me. I was ready to intervene, but just as I was about to stand, music abruptly stopped, and Brooke returned to the table with Mark. The unease within me remained, though I tried to stay calm for the moment. However, when Brooke got up to go to the restroom, that strange feeling resurfaced. Her behavior was so odd that I couldn't shake the sense that something was terribly wrong. As I was about to follow her, Mark and his companions suddenly blocked my path. Looking at these young and inexperienced men, I was reminded of the challenges I faced throughout my life. High-ranking corporate officials, mafia members. Dealing with such people had become my expertise, but these young men standing before me posed no real threat. With a few sharp words, I quickly dealt with them, and followed after Brooke. Brooke was heading toward the back exit of the restaurant, and I quickly closed the distance between us. When I reached her, I told her to stop. She turned to me, and the look of estrangement in her eyes cut deep. "Where are you going?" I asked, but her answer marked the beginning of a nightmare. She intended to go to Mark's house. This was something I could never accept. Brooke tried to convince me that being with Mark that night was just a fling, that everything would return to normal the next morning. But to me, this was far more than just a fling. This was the end of our marriage. I was filled with anger and disappointment. How could my wife so easily consider being with another man? I saw a moment of hesitation in her eyes, but then she spoke with determination about how important this night was for her, about how Mark made her feel. But her words only stoked the fire of my anger. "Frank," she said, her voice trembling slightly, "I never meant to hurt you. This isn't about love. It's just something I need to do, just this once, and then everything will go back to the way it was." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My mind was racing, trying to grasp the reality of what she was saying. "You're telling me that spending the night with another man, just this once, won't destroy what we have? Brooke, how can you even think that?" She looked away, unable to meet my eyes. "It's not like that," she whispered. "Mark, he's different. He makes me feel alive in a way I haven't felt in years. I just need to know what that feels like again." Pain of her words hit me like a ton of bricks. "So I don't make you feel alive anymore? Is that it? All these years, all the love we've shared, does that mean nothing to you?" Her eyes filled with tears, and for a moment I thought she might change her mind, but instead, she said, "Frank, please try to understand. I need this. Just let me go." I made my decision. If Brooke was going to spend the night with Mark, then our marriage had to end right there. When I told her this, She looked horrified for a moment, but then I saw the resolve in her eyes, and I knew she understood the gravity of the situation. She briefly considered stepping back, but the determination and coldness in my gaze shook her even more. "Are you really willing to throw everything away for one night with him?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "Is that what our marriage is worth to you?" "Frank, don't do this," she pleaded. "It's not about us. It's about me, about what I need right now. Can't you just let me have this?" The emptiness inside me grew, a void that I knew could never be filled. "You walk out that door, Brooke. You're not just spending the night with him. You're ending us. Do you understand that?" She hesitated, her hand on the door handle, as if she was weighing her options. I didn't want it to be like this, but if that's what it takes, then I guess this is goodbye." That night, our marriage was irrevocably changed. The memories we had shared, the joy we had felt together, all seemed to vanish in an instant. I felt an overwhelming emptiness inside. The thought of Brooke being with another man deeply wounded me. I could never forgive her. Could never love her the same way again. This was the night everything changed. When Brooke realized the magnitude of her mistake, she tried to save our marriage. But this wasn't just a fleeting moment. It was a decision that would change our lives forever. For me, we had reached a point of no return. My trust in my wife was completely shattered. Brooke, on the other hand, would carry the weight of this decision for the rest of her life. In the days that followed, Brooke tried to make amends. She apologized over and over, begging for my forgiveness. But how could I forgive her when the trust between us was gone? How could I ever look at her the same way? Knowing what she had done, she would often break down, tears streaming down her face as she whispered, "Frank, I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. Please, please forgive me." But every time, I would just turn away. The words she spoke no longer held any meaning for me. They were empty, just like the promises we had once made to each other. Then, one evening, after countless attempts to reach me, she finally broke down completely. She knelt before me, her hands clasped together, her face strewn with tears. "Frank, please don't throw us away. I know I made a terrible mistake, but I love you. I've always loved you. Please don't let this be the end." I looked at her, at the woman I had loved for so many years, and for a brief moment I wanted to believe her, forgive her, to start over. But the pain, the betrayal, was too deep. I knew that no matter how much she begged, no matter how much she cried, things could never go back to the way they were. "Brooke," I said quietly, "I wish I could. I wish I could just forget everything and move on, but I can't. What you did, it changed everything. It changed us, and I don't think we can ever go back." Her sobs grew louder, her whole body shaking with grief. "Frank, please, please don't do this. I can't lose you. I won't survive without you." But I knew deep down that it was already over. The love we once had was gone, replaced by a hollow emptiness that nothing could fill. "I'm sorry, Brooke, but I can't stay in a marriage where trust no longer exists. It's time to let go." And with those words I walked away, leaving behind the woman who had once been my everything. As I closed the door behind me, I knew that this was the final chapter of our story. Story of love, betrayal, and the irreversible consequences of the choices we make. We all make decisions in our lives, but some decisions lead us down paths from which there is no return. Brooke's decision, though it might have seemed like just a fleeting moment, irrevocably changed our lives. Nothing will ever be the same. And this story is not just a tale of betrayal. It is a narrative that delves into the complexities of human nature, desires, and choices. Every decision brings with it consequences, and some consequences change our lives forever.